Hey folks, back with more ancient cosmography, and let's see, what is this? Let's see, here's a new comparison showing using a different version of the, or a different photo from the Hierakonpolis Tomb 100. One to show closer to its, I think closer to what it really looks like compared to the other photo I was using. So this is like, one of the most important gods of seemingly on the Hierakonpolis map, being Pico Island of the Azores, the tallest peak in the Atlantic. I think this right here is the actual peak. And so this is the oldest painting in the Balkans, maybe the oldest in Europe. It's older than Lascaux, it's older than Chauvet. So yeah, there's that. See, this is I believe it's Japanese painting. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's Japanese. But I think it shows, it's like an old painting. And I'm not sure how ancient it is or what, but it seems to show a map. It seems to be a map. Could be that this is America. That like in the Egyptian maps where America is up and like forward or whatever, that this could be like maybe North America and South America. And these could be like islands guarding the coast. Maybe this is Baja California. I don't know. It just has all the peculiarities that suggest that it's a map and not just some kind of abstract art, which there wasn't much really abstract art in before modern times. All art tended to have a cosmological basis to it. I mean, it was abstract to an extent, but it had a scientific basis. So these are different, versions of Papua. This is the Lascaux, Birdman. This is the Hierakonpolis Nechen Tomb 100 version, and this is the Chauvet version. So you can see that these two are closer together, even though this one is like 30,000 years old, or 32,000 years old maybe, and this is only 28,000 years old or less. And this is only 5,500 years old. But this one is actually closer to the oldest one, the 30 to 32,000 year old one. It's might be following a similar tradition, or even following, this could even be a lineal descendant of this meme. Here's like a map that kind of blends ancient and modern maps. So it shows, incorporates like the zodiac, I guess, and all this different stuff. And it has Africa and America and whatnot. So I think probably if you study this, you'd learn a lot about ancient cosmography and what the different symbols are. Like this sword, I think might be the sword in the stone, and the kind of like mythical sword of a lot of stories. Magical sword, but it's probably some kind of constellation. I'm not sure exactly where this is from. Looks like it's in English though. This is, a cave painting from Baja California. And so they seems to have a system where they have black on one side and red on the other side. And it's always on the same side. Except for this guy. This one flips it over to the other side, seemingly. But anyway, it seems that, this is probably some type of map like the other ones. And that I think there's a solid or a good chance that it's connected to this Egyptian cartographical tradition of having red on one side and black on the other, like black meaning east and red meaning west, or in this case, red meaning the middle of America, and then black is the east coast, and then the blue water is the west coast. But I think it's the same basis of tradition. Like I think probably this one right here is showing it at a perpendicular axis or whatever, with that, north is here and south is here for this, whatever that's showing. So anyway, I think that it could be that tradition of the red and the black used to show east and west, or the red, black, and blue, originated from this red and black system in Baja California. Because it seemed like Baja California was like pretty important on the Egyptian maps. It's like the one place where the Egyptian map says not to go, actually, but it says not to go in the Gulf of California, but it says that if you do go there, then you're the one who defeats Apep, which is basically like defeating you. You're the one who defeated Satan, basically, in that type of system. Apep is like the serpent that threatens the sun. And it's maybe, I don't know if it's a terrestrial or totally celestial or both. I mean, it clearly has some terrestrial basis here, but also is described as being celestial in other parts. So even though the early books of Two Ways didn't employ this black-red system, and it's only maybe the fourth or fifth iteration of it, and then all the later ones that did. So it could be that they defeated Apophis, Apep in the California, and then Baja California is the real California. It's the original California, not us. We're just the ones that got called California because we were confused with being part of Baja, because we're near to it. So yeah, I'm not sure what this map is exactly, but I'll try to see if I can identify any of this stuff. Here's the largest medieval map. So it shows that these type of like weird animals and stuff were still being incorporated into maps. But it's like they're maybe blending two styles of maps, like the kind of Ptolemaic style and this avatar system. And so it's hard to know if the avatars are even in the right place and context and form, or if they're just kind of like added on as just kind of a memory of the earlier zoomorphic and anthropomorphic maps. Let's see, this is a Uh-oh. Did I forget to do that? Maybe. No, I think I did it. Okay, so this is Ireland in some kind of anthropomorphic map of relatively recent origin. So, you know, shows that well, let's see. You know, it shows that similar to the 5,500-year-old Egyptian map, Ireland is composed of multiple figures. You know, like in this one, is composed of 3 different figures: a large human, a small human, and an animal. Whereas in the 5,500-year-old Egyptian map, Ireland is composed of 3 men, 3 hostages. And then this is a map of England showing, I think this is supposed to be the dragon, and this is like King George, although in this one it's Britannia, so maybe this is Britannia as a woman, but still fighting the dragon like King George. Like this one, I think, is King George and the dragon. Or St. George, sorry. St. George and fighting the dragon. So St. George is the saint of England, and he's known for fighting a dragon. So it could be that it was actually meant to be that, like basically Devon and Cornwall here. And then, you know, this is like Wales here and whatnot. You know, London would be here. So these are anthropomorphic maps from modern times. And so then that made me want to look into, you know, Saint George and some of the other maps of paintings of Saint George look like they're anthropomorphic maps potentially. So I'm not sure if they were originally of England or of something larger. Might be that St. George is kind of like the Osiris of ancient times originally, where he's just Afro-Eurasia in general. But hard to know. He certainly became the saint of England. This is just based on the fact that, you know, they say that in modern times, Papua is compared to a bird, and that not only like in the ancient system where this is the bird's head, but also making this the bird's tail, because in the ancient system of Lascaux, it's a bird man with like a man's body, and then this is his penis, and this is his bird's head. These are his legs, but for modern people around there, this is the bird's tail, and this is the bird's head and whatnot. And these are actually called, you know, this peninsula is called Bird's Head Peninsula. This peninsula is called Bird's Beak Peninsula. This isthmus is called Bird's Neck, and this peninsula is called Bird's Tail. So it just shows that people are still using this type of system. Somehow whenever I do this, I try to group the photos together with the other photos that pertain to them. Okay, well, here's this one, but it's like I always screw, it always gets lost somehow. This is Ireland in the 5,500-year-old Egyptian map, and it's so you can see that, you know, it's 3 people, the three westernmost counties or provinces of Ireland are the heads of three men, three captives, three hostages, Ulster, Connacht, and Munster. Ulster, Connacht, and Munster being held by Argyll of Scotland, this peninsula, and then so so yeah, that fits with this where Ireland is shown as three figures, and it's the three in the same three places, Ulster, Connacht, and Munster, but they just made Ulster's body bigger to fill up Leinster, etc. So it shows that's a natural way to anthropomorphize Ireland. And let's see. Oh yeah, so this is the let's see. Well, I guess it's flipped the I'll just flip it to show it better. Because this one's flipped since parts of this had to be flipped. I think that these two are at different orientations compared to this guy, since he's kind of the lord of this area, Okinawa. Just like Pico in the Azores, he has the opposite orientation from the islands around him. So anyway, in the Book of Two Ways, it refers to the one in the shrine, or the one on his throne, whose knee is his face. So I was thinking that could be him, that could be Okinawa, who's always shown on this throne and in the shrine. So I looked on what is his knees, like right around here, and indeed there is a face. So that makes sense. And sort of like anytime I try to do one of these videos, like my voice will start out fine and then go to shit like within a minute. It's just because life is awesome like that. And so yeah, like this is that.